Hi guys, gals, non-body pals, and all my friends and folks out there. Welcome back to the Hope Faith Love channel. Today we are doing our third fanfic reading of Melody, which is a Klance fanfiction on Wattpad by UDPD Parker, by the way. So if you want to follow along, go on a Wattpad and just, pull that up. It's by UDPD Parker once again, and it is Melody, a Klance fanfic. Now, if you're new to this channel or newer to the series, don't forget to go down below and check out the description so then you can have the links to all the previous videos, just in case you missed one. Also, don't forget to check out all of our social media outreach, like our podcast and also our Wattpad ourselves, and don't forget to head over to our Instagram so then we can all stay connected. Now, because I'm reading this in lifetime with all of y'all, I do not know if this has a trigger warning or not. Beware that this does have some older themes like suicide and depression being talked about it in it. So please note that and adjust for the, necessary precautions. The actual TW rating will be down in the description below, along with all the links to suggested videos that you might enjoy as well. So don't forget to check out that description. And without further ado, let's get into it. Chapter 5. By the way, if you're new here, I always read 2 chapters per reading now, but yeah. Anyway, Chapter 5. But then Keith had the urge to sing The Ocean, a song Keith had written for that boy. A song Keith had written for Lance. It all made sense now. Everything. Keith couldn't believe he didn't realize it sooner. Explains why he could hardly say no to those beautiful blue eyes. He didn't know how he didn't recognize Lance before. He looked pretty much the same. He had his dark mocha skin, his shaggy brown hair, and most importantly, those eyes. He looked back down at Lance's sleeping body and just stared at him for a while. He decided it didn't hurt anything if he moved his chair closer to Lance's hospital bed. He stood and picked up his chair, moving it closer to the sleeping boy. Once he set it down, he immediately sat down again. And he looked around the room, seeing if anyone was watching. Once he saw that the coast was clear, he carefully took Lance's hand. Okay, Keith. Okay. Interesting move, but okay. At this point, Keith's brain was going nuts. He was questioning everything. Like, why didn't he realize sooner? He looks the same and has the same name, for heaven's sake. He also questioned on why didn't Lance ever say anything. Did he not remember him? After everything that had happened that summer, he began to think back to all those events that took place 3 years ago. Keith was almost 16 at the time, and Chio had promised him a vacation for his birthday before school came around again. He hadn't been told where they were going, but Chio told him it was going to be warm and to pack a bathing suit, so naturally he packed all black clothes, a jacket, and his gloves, of course. It's not Keith without those freaking gloves. They had arrived at the airport when Shiro finally revealed that the destination. They are going to Verado, a beach in Cuba. Well, you could say Keith was excited. He'd never been to a beach, considering he lived at the very top of Texas, and it would take 13 hours to get to one. But now that they were traveling by plane to Cuba, it was easier. But Keith didn't know a word of Spanish, unless you count the numbers 1 through 10, or yes. That made him a little bit nervous, but at least he was going on vacation emirate. The plane ride was long, tedious, but kept himself busy by listening to music and watching a couple movies such as Spider-Man Homecoming and Disney's Coco. Okay, 2 side notes. Keith, can we just... Why? You know, don't you think that some people in Cuba would be able to speak English? Don't you think you have a translator app on your phone for a reason? Maybe you might not translate everything technically correct, but it'll get the job done. I mean, like, come on. I was like, use their common sense. Also, Spider-Man Homecoming and Coco. That's an interesting lineup. That is an interesting lineup. Anyway, I was just like, well, you know, but here we are, I guess. Here we are. You have your interest. I mean, I love Coco too. I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know if I would watch them back to back, because I guess I have a genre of the day type thing, but let me know if you would watch these 2 back to back. Like, if you would watch, like, an action-packed movie about superheroes and then jump to another action-packed movie, but it's more family-oriented. I just want to know. Put it in the comments down below. Anyway, he made sure that his guitar was with him when he entered the plane to make sure nothing happened. Keith slept for most of the trip, but he was awake when the plane landed. After Keith and Shiro got off the plane, they got on a bus to the hotel they were staying at, right on Verado Beach itself. Keith ran into the hotel, set his stuff down, and sprinted down to the beach. He took off his shoes and let his feet sink into the sand. He instantly had a need to jump in the water, but alas, he didn't bring a bathing suit. He ran to Shiro and explained the situation. Well, you could say Shiro was angry, but I wouldn't call it that. It was more like he was disappointed, and his gaze could tear you down piece by piece. I guess he thought he was going to the desert at first. Anyway, Shiro sighed a little bit, then told Keith there was a pharmacy, mini market, around this corner. He handed the boy a $5 bill, and Keith was on his way. He ran to the pharmacy, and once he got there, he ran around the place until he ran into a female, who was in her 40s or 50s. The woman turned around and said, "Well, somebody's in a rush. I'm Summer. I'm the pharmacist here. I asked her in the shop. What do you need?" "Well, I'm on vacation, and I forgot to bring a bathing suit, so I was looking around, trying to find one. Do you know if there's any here?" Unfortunately, we don't. But my nephew looks about your age. He's staying at the hotel right around the corner. I don't suppose you're staying there also. Actually, I am. Which room is he in? 301. I'll write him a note so he knows. I hope you guys get along. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for the help. It really means a lot. Well then. Anyway, down. Keith got the note, and he ran back to the hotel. He hopped into the elevator and harshly selected for floor 4. Well, that's a tongue twister. But also, Keith got really lucky, because I don't think anybody just gives out the number or, like, the location of their nephew and tells you, go to them, they look about your size, you can borrow their bathing suits. Most likely, you would probably hear, hey, there's this mini market around the corner, though, that I know sells bathing suits. I just went there today, and they should still have some. But, you know, here we are. It's not like I'm saying fault the author now. It's just that Keith got really lucky. Because I feel like that only happens a very few select times in our lives. But anyway. He then rapidly started to push the close buttons. Because for some reason, he didn't like riding elevators with other people. Can't blame him. Once the elevator had arrived to the 4th floor, Keith had begun to sprint down the hallway. Slowly, and the navy blue doors grew closer to 301. He continued running until he got there. Door 301. He swiftly brought his hand up to tap on the door. He was so eager to get into the beautiful water that he had gotten lost in thought, and didn't realize that when a tan boy about 15 opened the door and just stared at him. Hello? Can I help you? The boy said, suspiciously eyeing Keith up and down. Keith snapped out of his trance at the sound of his melodic voice. He snapped his head upward in a movement. His violet eyes met Lance's blue ones. Something clicked in both of them. Keith thought it was just him, but Lance felt it too. For some reason, this boy was already special to me. But that summer, neither of them admitted it, and they both regretted it that day. Long story short, once let Keith borrow a bathing suit, they ended up going to the beach together and spending Keith's entire vacation together. There were walks to the ice cream shops, picnics on the beach, and whatever seemed like hours of bonding over fandoms they were part of. They both figured out that they were the same interactive introverts show that never saw each other. They quickly became best friends, and maybe a little more. Keith recalled the last night of his vacation, where he and Lance sat next to a campfire on the beach. Lance had wanted to hear Keith sing, because he had briefly mentioned about being able to earlier, while they were getting food by a nearby stand. He didn't really want to, because he hadn't got much experience singing in front of people yet. And he didn't want to make a fool out of himself in front of Lance. But Lance, being the obnoxious little piece of shit that he is, he convinced Keith. Excuse me? Keith pulled his guitar over his shoulder and softly began to strum. So there's a song right here we're not obviously gonna play it because copyright. Give me a hot minute. We're going to sing the song, finish up the chapter, move on to the next chapter, and see where life takes us. I might honestly just do one chapter today because I am a little tired, but here we go. I met up with an acrobat in Brooklyn or someplace like that, with life and taxis flying past. We tore down that dance hall down. Pocket change and subway cars are big ideas told in empty bars. You might be from the moon or Mars. Either way, I'm never going home. So let's hang out and anchor from the sun. There's a million city lights, but you're number one. You're the reason I'm still up at dawn. Just to see your face, we'll be going strong. With the vampires, baby, we belong. We belong awake. Singing from the fire escapes. I was drinking from a wishing well, some junky metal hotel. When we boarded the carriage, saw the roof was caving in. On stage, my ox-blood friend was singing songs about the end. The bankers and the lion dens. We're dropping the line like beggars in the snow. So let's run and anchor from the sun. There's a million city lights, but you're number one. You're the reason why I'm still up at dawn. To see your face, we'll be going strong. With the vampires, baby, we belong awake. Swinging from the fire escape, singing from I'm trying, but no. Singing from the fire escape, singing from the fire escape. Walking home, your hand in mine. Tattoos on the river line. The morning birds are taking flight. Either way, I thought that you should know. Oh, you're my number one. You're the reason I'm still up at dawn. Just to see your face, we'll be going strong. With the vampires, baby, we belong awake. You're my number one. You're the reason I'm still up at dawn. Just to see your face, we'll be going strong. With the vampires, baby, we belong awake. Singing from the fire escape. Singing from the fire escape. Swinging from the fire escape. Swinging from the fire escape. I hope that you enjoy my rendition of that. I want to figure out what that song was, but they don't put it there. I'll tell you at the end of this. Keith put his guitar back over his shoulder and looked at Lance, curious to see his reaction. Lance's eyes were red. He knew the song was about him. He scooted himself closer to Keith so their legs were touching. Keith felt his breath hitch in his throat. Lance closed his eyes and started leaning closer. Keith was internally freaking out. Was he ready for this? What if... And everything Keith was thinking about had been shut down. Keith was leaving tomorrow. How could he leave after this? How could he leave after he just lost his first kiss to the one and only Lance McLean? Well, I hope you enjoyed this chapter, friends. The song that you heard me sing was Fire Escape, and I think it's by An Inflatable Love Story. You can go and check it out on YouTube, Vio, wherever you get I guess, any of your songs, and that is pretty much it. I hope that all of y'all enjoyed. I know that this wasn't the full 2 chapters like usual, but you know, just wasn't exactly up to it. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Peace.